one of the things that I wanted to talk about was getting brand photos or taking your brand photos that you're going to use in your portfolio or use on your website or use, in some kind of um, marketing or whatever. Try to get some that have your full body in there and that are doing some specific things. This one doesn't do what I'm about to talk to you about, but I do want you to try to get some that don't have a lot of background on them so that you can, because if you have Canva Pro, you can pull the background off and have like a transparent background. But if you do that, will allow you in your hero image to really showcase you, which is what you want to do. So let's go back to this one. Okay, so when you are taking brand photos, this was the whole point of this video is try to do some where you are looking off to the side. So, as a web designer, I study psychology and how people use websites, and I study heat maps where they tend to stay. It shows me like where they are on the heat map. I mean, on the website. Like, do they stay in the hero image? Do they scroll down? Where do they tend to linger? And one of the things that you can do is have some images of you looking off. It can either be looking to the side, looking up, looking at a diagonal, because in just human psychology, think about when you are on the interstate or wherever you're driving and you see an accident and everyone is looking at something. What do we do? What makes all the traffic back up? We look too. It's the same for a website. So when you have an image of you looking at something, it's going to draw the user to the thing you're looking at. So it showcases you and your personality, but also it showcases, hey, this is what I want you to look at, which could be, this is my USP, this is my call to action, this is why you want to hire me. So when you have that in your, you could use it for your hero image, you could use it sprinkled throughout your portfolio. If you're doing like a call to action and want them to do something, have some images that do this. Um, Look to the side. Take some images that you're pointing or you're pointing up or you're pointing over here. You can use one hand, you can use two hands. Do some like this where you're pointing down, and you could potentially have like a block of text where you want them to look, because you're basically, without telling them, you're telling them to look down. You can also use that in your product photography that you're doing, or your, not your product photography, your UGC photography, where you're in the photography or you're in the picture. Look at the product instead of looking straight ahead. Guide the person who's looking to look towards the product or whatever it is that you're wanting them to look at. If it's the text on the image, whatever it is, guide your user without saying a word to look at what you want them to look at. So these are some good examples of guiding your user to look at something else after they've seen you. We connect with humans, so you definitely want to have your images on there. Humans connect with humans. We want to see humans. That's why AI marketing with AI, lookalikes aren't really performing that well, is because as humans, we have this ability to recognize fake a lot of times. So that's something I want you to consider. The other thing is when you do that, make sure you get your whole body in the picture. Don't cut off your shoulders. Actually, this one's okay. That one's fine. I'm going to delete that. So these are better because they have the full head, the full shoulders in there. This one is not great because it cuts off the top of the head. This one cuts off the top of the head, it cuts off the shoulder, and it just makes it harder to use on your portfolio or in marketing things. So that is something else you can consider. So when you're doing brand photography, when you're doing UGC photography, these are just some good tips that you can follow and have to showcase you, your portfolio, or the products you're marketing a little bit better. Hope that helps. I wanted to show you like when you're able to use the whole body and able to use it as a transparent background, just the difference it can make in your hero image. Like this I mean, these are the same exact pictures. The only thing I did was take the background off and took it out of that frame where she takes up the space and not the circle. This is, one of the templates that's out there. I'm sure many of you've seen it and many of you probably used it and maybe what you started with. But this was me just going in and making slight changes to the color, to what kind of images are on there. That makes sense. This doesn't really make sense. Like if you have one page, everything needs to have a reason for being on there. So anyhow, I just wanted to show you like what the difference can mean. This would have looked great if she was kind of looking out over to this, but even without that, it still looks fantastic. Um, so if you have any questions about any of this kind of thing, or anything to do with portfolios, I am happy to help.